हरिओम
Oh,
आचार्य जी।
सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So today we will do the pranayama and the reading of Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. So please have your book with you, or I will ask one of you to read, and then we will probably read one page and talk about it. So we start with pranayama. Please sit upright. If you can sit in Vajrasana, please change to Vajrasana and check your breathing pattern before we start doing pranayama. The purpose of checking your prana, your breathing, is to know whether you are breathing out from both nostril or one. As you breathe out, you will feel the exhalation on your hand. And then try to lower your hand till you feel your breath. That would indicate how deeply you are exhaling. Now notice if you are breathing in and out from one side or both sides. And if it is one side, try to find, is it your left nostril open and breathing in and out, or is it right nostril? The objective of pranayama is to open up both channels or both nadis of nostrils and do the breathing in a balanced condition. So we start with Nadi Shodhan. With your thumb, you close your right nostril. Inhale and out, exhale from your left nostril 7 times. After 7 times, you may close your left nostril and breathe in and out from your right nostril. Long inhalation and long exhalation. And throughout pranayama, try to keep your eyes gently closed. Remember to do the long inhalation, exhalation between 2 pranayama, 3 rounds of breath. Now we do the Anulom Vyom. Inhale from left, exhale from right. Immediately inhale from right, exhale from left. 7 rounds. The third pranayama today is to do the Anulom Vyom with the gap. And we shall breathe in for count of 5. Hold your breath for count of 10. Breathe out for 5 count. And hold your breath out for 10 count. So it is rectangle breathing, 5, 10, 5, 10. 7 rounds. Next 3 pranayama are we're doing first time. So please check. First one is to breathe in and out through your mouth. So it's simple, but keep your mouth little open. Breathe in, breathe out. Now while inhaling and while exhaling, as you're breathing in through your mouth, feel the sensation on your neck muscles and thyroid gland. And you might find a sound similar as the waves in the ocean. This is how it is. Did you hear the sound that comes out of your throat? A sound of waves, a gentle, subtle sound as you breathe in and out through your mouth. We tried today 7 rounds of breathing in and out through your mouth. So bring your attention to your throat and inhale. Second pranayama is to inhale while inflating your stomach. So as you breathe in, inflate your stomach muscles and then inhale with the chest expansion. So one inhalation, your stomach inhale, and exhale, stomach falls. Second breath, inhale on your lungs, feel the opening up of your chest muscles. Exhale, relax your chest muscles. Again, bring it down to your abdomen area. Breathe in, your stomach muscles rises up. Breathing out, your stomach muscles sinks. So when you are doing breathing in and out on your stomach, no movement of your lungs or chest muscles. When you do the chest muscles, breathe in and out, no movement of your stomach muscles. Got it? So sit upright and we start with the stomach first. Breathe in. Now the chest. So you got to feel it that you are breathing in and out with your stomach muscles. And second time, breathing in and out through your chest muscles. 7 times. Relax. And the last pranayama today is to do the same breathing but continuous. So when you inhale, first inflate your stomach muscles and open up your chest. When you exhale, collapse your chest muscles and sink your stomach muscles. All right, so starting now, 7 times. Breathe in. Inhale, open up your chest muscles, your lungs. Exhale, collapse your chest muscles and your stomach muscles. Breathe in, inflate your stomach muscles. Open up your chest muscles. Exhale, your chest muscles relaxed, stomach muscles sink, and continue. Relax. Now, please open up your book. Let us read the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. And some of you may not have book, and so you could just listen to the reader. May I request Kapilji to read the first one page?
Hari Om Acharya. Start from the introduction or from the...
I will ask everyone to read introduction by themselves. You may start from the chapter 1, this sadhana, dharana, the Samadhi Pada. Remember, we are reading the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Keep in mind, this is the foundation of the yoga as we know, and it is important that we should know more about what we are doing and what is the objective, what is the original philosophy of yoga, and what is the purpose of doing yoga. So, as I briefly mentioned on the last Saturday, that Patanjali, about 2400 or 2300 years ago, believed to have formalized and compiled the yoga sadhana known as Yoga Sutra, and it is known as Ashtanga Yoga because of 8 limbs of yoga. And the book that he has authored, known as Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, has 4 chapters. First is Samadhi Pada, the Sadhana Pada, Vibhuti Pada, and Kaivalya Pada. So we are starting with the Samadhi Pada, and Kapilji will read the first page.
Prathamam Samadhi Pada. Chapter 1, Samadhi Pada. Concentration, its spiritual uses. Atha Yoga Nushasanam. Now concentration is explained. Yoga Chittavritti Nirodha. Yoga is restraining the minds of Chitta from taking various forms, vrittis. A good deal of explanation is necessary here. We have to understand what Chitta is and what are these vrittis. I have this eye. I do not see. Take away the brain center, which is in the head, the eyes will be still there. The retina complete and also the picture. And yet, eyes will not see. So, eyes are only a secondary instrument, not the organ of vision. The organ of vision is the nerve center of the brain. The 2 eyes will not be sufficient alone. Sometimes a man is asleep with his eyes open. The light is there, the picture is there, but a third thing is necessary. Mind must be joined to the organ. The eye is the external instrument. We need also the brain center and the agency of the mind. Carriages roll down a street and you do not hear them. Why? Because your mind has not attached itself to the organ of hearing. First, there is the instrument, then there is the organ, and third, the mind attachment of these two. The mind takes the impression further in, presents it to the demonstrative faculty, buddhi, which reacts. Along with this reaction flashes the idea of egoism. Then this mixture of action and reaction is presented to the Purusha, the real soul, who perceives an object in the mixture. The organs, indriyas, together with the mind, manas, the determinative faculty, buddhi, and egoism, ahankar, form the group called the antakarna, the internal instrument. They are but various processes in the mind step called chitta. The waves of thought in the chit are called vritti. The whirlpool is the literal translation. What is thought? Thought is a force as is gravitation or repulsion. It is absorbed from the infinite storehouse of force in nature. The instrument called chitta takes hold of that force, and when it passes out in the other end, it is called thought. The force is supplied to us through food, and out of that food, the body obtains the power of motion. Others, the finer forces, it throws out in what we call thought. Naturally, we see that the mind is not intelligent, yet appears to be intelligent. Why? Because the intelligent soul is behind it. You are the only sentient being. Mind is only the instrument through which you catch the external world. Take this book as a book. It does not exist outside. What exists outside is unknown and unknowable. It is a suggestion that gives a blow to the mind, and the mind gives out the reaction. If a stone is thrown into the water is thrown against it in the form of waves. The real universe is the occasion of the reaction of the mind. A book form, or an elephant form, or a man form is not outside. All that we know is our mental reaction from the outer suggestion. Matter is the permanent possibility of sensation, said John Stuart Mill. It is only the suggestion that is outside. Take an oyster, for example. You know how pearls are made. A grain of sand or something gets inside and begins to irritate it, and the oyster throws a sort of enameling around the sand, and that makes the pearl. This whole universe is your own enamel, so to say. The real universe is the grain of sand. The ordinary man will never understand it because when he tries to, he throws out an enamel and sees only his own enamel. Now we understand what is meant by vrittis. The real man is behind the mind, and the mind is the instrument in his hands, and it is in intelligence that is percolating through it. It is only when you stand behind it that it becomes intelligent. When man gives it up, it falls to pieces and is nothing. So you understand what is meant by chitta? It is the mind stuff, and vrittis are the waves and ripples rising in. And when the external causes impinge on it, these vrittis are our whole universe. Should I continue?
No, I guess we stop and let's understand instead of rushing.
Yeah.
Um, so you see how beautifully he started. He began with the one sentence, which is the essence of yoga, the chitta vritti nirodha, sensation of modification of mind, the vrittis. And he gave the analogy of ocean and oysters, and also there are other authors or books which says mind like a monkey. Basically, the primary objective of yoga is to know what is the chitta, the chit. There are two things. There are chit and chitta, and there is the antakarna. So antakarna is combination of the different elements, as he narrated, which is your mind, your intellect, your memory, your ego, which in our book it is known as the samskara, your memory. That's your antakarna. It also includes all the sense organs, karmendriya and gyanendriya and five pranas. All put together becomes the combination of antakarna. Mind stuff is is it's the origin of the thoughts. Thought, as we know, where do we recognize thoughts? We do not have thought on your arms or on your heart or your shoulder. We point it to the head and we say it is in your mind. So, and where is the mind? Yeah, so we do not know where is mind. The science calls the brain and the skull. And part of that brain has a function called mind, which perceives the thoughts. And thoughts are similar as this natural force like gravitation and magnesium's magnetic force. So the thoughts are perceived by mind, and through the sense organs, they are desired, and actions are taken by your physical body. In other literature, in this context, there is a book called Vivek Chudamani, written by sage Shankaracharya. In there, he says, compare the mind as the chariot. So your mind is chariot, your sense organs are the horses, your intellect is the owner, and your self, the consciousness, is the witness, is the observer. So he makes an analogy of a chariot. And so is here, Patanjali writes that your senses are like horses. They are always looking out for the indulgence and sense gratifications in different objects outside your physical body and mind. And so, compared to horses, the mind has the rein to control your sense organs. And buddhi or intelligence has the faculty called discrimination or viveka, what is right and what is not right. And through the use of viveka, you control through the mind the horses of senses of different karmendriyas and gyanendriyas. So primary object here in this first page is to recognize the mind has so many thoughts, and unless we quieten the mind, we cannot pursue the yogic lifestyle. In principle, to follow the yogic lifestyle, you first have to work upon the mind stuff or the nature of your mind, understand it, and after understanding it, work upon it to bring your mind to focus, concentration on the object or the subject that helped you to pursue the yogic lifestyle. This is the starting point of Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. Now, it's up to you to share what is your understanding on the first that we read today. Kapilji, what is your You read it, you got it. Is everything clear, or is there anything that you need to elaborate or understand more? It's simple, very easy to understand it. It's just that we have to put it in a right sequence. As I have always been saying, yoga is not simply doing the asana as what we are doing. That is a very small part of yogic lifestyle. As we read further, it will tell us that the asana is meant to keep your body in a position to be in stillness, that you are able to sit in a particular posture without any movement. And for that, you have to train your body. And in order to train the body, there are different asanas that are prescribed. Beyond that, asanas as we do, or there are many other asanas in different yogic schools, are developed much later by different masters. And these are more to strengthen your body, to make your body much more healthier physically, which is good, but not in line with the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra of Ashtanga Yoga. So remember, if we are following Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali, the objective is to bring the awareness that our mind has the possibility to uh, to collect yourself to be here and now and withdraw from all different thoughts that you may have, vrittis. Yeah. So, is that possible for us to work on our mind or our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings? Is it possible that when at least that 40 minutes or 1 hour that is spent at that time, we are totally 100% focused on what we are talking or doing? And that is where you start practicing to bring your mind in your control. And not that mind will wander here and there and you do all the asanas or pranayama which has no real meaning. Is that clear understanding?
Yes, Acharya, his explanation of the eyes is like, metaphorically speaking, like a window. A window is meaningless unless there is somebody standing behind it and then able to see outside. Similarly, our eyes are also like a window. What is it that the eyes are perceiving? That is what is makes all the
Yeah,
difference. Eyes by itself do not have the ability to figure
that's
out
right.
what the object is outside.
Yes, it's a good example. Eyes is only an instrument, as we always spoken. In fact, not only eyes, all your sense organs are
Yeah,
only an object, it's instruments. They per se do not take the impressions or send out these signals. It only is the one of the instrument to do the interaction with the external object. Through your skin you touch, and you know you're touching something which is hot or you're touching something which is cold, but hand does not know it is hot or cold. Yeah, it passes through signal to your particular nerves in the brain, and that nerve in the brain instantly refers to the memory bank, and through the memory bank it recognizes that it is hot or cold, and instantly your ego come to play and say, I know it is cold or
cold.
I know it is hot. So it's a combination of your sense organ, let's say skin or eye or ear, whatever, and the instrument which is taking the signal to particular nerve in the brain. And the mechanism is that the brain at that time receives that signals but does not make a decision. It instantly refers it to the memory and the ego, who then says, from based on your memory, that it is hot or cold or beautiful or not beautiful or tasty or not tasty, whatever is your sense organ, it is from the memory that it tells you, and the ego will come to play, and then you say, it is cold, it is hot, it is nice, it's not nice, whatever is your perception based on your memory. And that's why Patanjali says the book is not existing outside, it is inside you, it is in your mind. And that mind, which is combination of different organs called antakarna, then decides that this is a book, or this is a flower, or this is hot, or this is a cold, or whatever is your sense organ that perceives.
They very beautifully explained over here also. First, there is the instrument, then there is the organ, and third, the mind attachment of these two.
Yes.
The mind
And
takes the
remember,
impression further in, presents it to the determinative faculty, the buddhi, which reacts. Along with this reaction, flashes the idea of egoism.
yeah,
Then this mixture of action and reaction is presented to the Purusha, the real soul, perceives the object in the mixture.
yeah,
The entire process is
yeah. It's instant.
analyzed, yes.
Yes, it's electrical waves. So in the brain, if you have seen the scan of a brain, it is similar as the millions of nerves passes the electrical signals. And the language of that electrical signals conveys, and instantly, as he says, it goes back in a memory. And in our other literature, it says memory bank. It refers to your memory bank, which is your mind conditioning of previous birth, of millions of births or thousands of births. And that experience, that memory surfaces, and then there is something called as lower self, which is ego, which claims that I know it is hot, or I know it is cold, or I know it is nice, or whatever is the perception. So it's a combination of all that, which is what is antakarna is. And you see the mechanism, how it operates. And that is why it is said that you have to withdraw from sense gratification. More you indulge in sense gratification, more your mind is engaged in pursuing and fulfilling the desires and bringing the attachment. Now, see the depth of the knowledge in yoga. The yoga, as you try to understand, is not only the pranayama and yoga asanas, it's much, much more. And so it all starts with recognizing that you have the power. As Kapilji says, that the mind refers, how does the mind, there is a energy which is what it will come in the second page, or subsequently the Patanjali will say, the essential part is that self, capital self, that consciousness, which brings that energy, that brings the power for mind or your brain or your organs to perform.
Acharya
Instruments.
ji,
Yes.
so that means ki happiness or sadness is also a mental construct.
It is 100%. There is no happiness in any object elsewhere. The shirt that I'm wearing does not have happiness. When I wear the shirt and my mind tells me that it looks good on me, it gives me happiness. You understand? But the shirt hanging on a hanger is not a happiness, or for that matter, any object. The happiness is within and not external. And so is the unhappiness is also within us. It's
But
up to your mind.
these are the external objects. Suppose we are drinking some of the water, cold glass of water and other things. So it brings some biological, physiological impulses within the body, isn't
Yes.
it?
Yes.
So this
Yeah.
causes the happiness.
Yes. So you see, you said you're drinking a clean water and you're thirsty and you take a glass of water. Now, what is happening is that your mind refers instantly to the memory and the ego, and you say, this is what I wanted. In the hot summer day, I needed this glass of water. The glass of water, whether it is summer or winter, it is what it is. The water per se has not that of quality. It is the condition in which your mind is. So your body gives out the signal that it is hot and you are sweating or you feel thirsty and you need water. And so you grab a glass of water and drink it. And instantly as you drink, there is a signal passed on to the faculty which instantly refers to the memory and claims through the ego, yes, it is the water that I wanted. This is what I wanted. Or this is what will make me happy at this point of time. It is all internal, every single thing. There is nothing outside. No happiness is in any other things, any object.
So, Acharya ji, like we are going to the temple and other religious shrines and places, and we feel calm and quiet. Isn't it externally driven internal peace or happiness?
If you remember, we spoke about it some time back on the same point of some question. It's combination of two. There are some holy places which has the energy, which I would call it a holy energy or a positive energy that works on you or that works on people, that invites you or attracts you. But much depends within what you go with. You go with the idea that I'm going to a holy place. So you mentally already recognize that the place you're going is holy and it has some power. It will give me peace of mind. It will give me some amount of joy or pleasure. So you are already prepared for that. You already have that in your mind. And then when you go, you feel that experience. So you realize if you have gone to a stranger, to a new place, and you have no idea about that place, you probably will not feel that energy, although the energy is there. Yeah, there are some places which has got a higher energy level, but you will not feel it. Why? Because your mind did not expect it. You were not prepared for it. But if you already know that somebody has told you to go to certain place because it has got this so-called holy power, so you have that as the evidence and you go with that expectation and you experience it. So much depends on your internal, your mind. What thought have you gone with? You've gone with the thought that you will experience such things. And so you get that experience.
Also, Acharya, if I may add here, if we look at the same thing from the other perspective, there are also people who say that going to even the best of the doctor or the shrine has not helped them. Just because how they interpret, just like that oyster wala example.
Yeah.
Wherein, if you try to understand anything, whatever you do is throw your own enamel, throw your own mind conditioning or the memory traces that you're holding. And beyond that, we cannot understand.
True. Yeah, it's a good example. Olden days, there were doctors who used to have a compounder, and you go to doctor, and the compounder will give you medicine, a liquid water, a liquid of different colors. So psychologically, the patient says, "This is going to help me," and few days later comes and says that your medicine worked. It is more than a medicine; it's your psychology that works. So it's again, it's internal. It's your mind. Imagine there are these schools where they train the children to empower the mind, and through that power of mind, they can literally bend the object. Yeah, metal, for example, or spoon or a knife. They do not even touch it. Is that the memory, the mind has the power, and through that power, they can bend. So imagine our mind has such a tremendous power. It is.
Acharya, you got muted.
What is the psychic power? Psychic power is the same. What is your, how does the Reiki, distant Reiki operation happen? The same, through your mind. You connect it to certain wavelength, certain frequency, and with your intense desire, intense intention, it works. You tap into that field, tap into that wave, the frequency, and you can cure or help the patient through the Reiki. Why go any other energy? Look at your radio sets or look at your television set. When you watch television, you want to watch a live show or live sport, for example. You are hundreds and thousands of miles away from where actually it is played, and you sitting in your comfortable couch and watching it. How does that work? There are no cables running between your TV to the stadium. It is from the frequency, it is from the space, it is from the different wavelength. It is just that you tap into that wavelength and decode it. So is your mind. There are, in Second World War, it is well known that the Germans used to hire this kind of psychic mind who could have a vision of the distance. They are locked up in a room and they go into the trance, into what we call meditation or samadhi. Sitting in that dark room, they could have a vision of the battlefield or the ocean or a forest or wherever they want to, and actually see the scenario there, and then let they explain to their force that there is this kind of submarine in the under the water, or there is this kind of situation on the battlefield. How does that happen? Through their mind, power of your mind. So the Patanjali says, first understand what is the mind, what is the power of mind, and how to use it and not misuse it. Most of us are misusing it because we do not know how to use it. When I say misuse, I don't mean in a wrong sense. Misuse means we do not know the power, and we consume so much of energy in different thoughts of our mind. As I said last time, 60, 70,000 thoughts a day, and 60% of our total energy consumed by mind alone, our brain. But if you reduce number of thoughts, focus it on one on a higher self. As we read further next time, Patanjali will tell us that Ishwar Paridharna, that means all your concentration should be focused on the higher self or Ishvara, or God. He calls it God because he feels the Bhakti Marg, Sankhya Marg, he's influenced. Or call it
If
Nirguna
I may
Swarupa.
interrupt, please.
Sorry?
Can I just say a few words?
Yes?
Your example about the Second World War, this is more recent, but we know in the Mahabharata, Vidura was telling the whole battlefield, staying much away because Dhritarashtra could not see. He was
Sanjay.
blind.
Yeah.
So that itself,
Sanjay.
yeah.
Yeah, correct. Correct, absolutely. So it is possible. Of course, there is element of grace required, and in element of grace, you need to earn the merit. You need to have that merit to be qualified, to have that, um, to have that grace, to have that power. It is not that everybody can have it. You need to work on it.
Even Maharishi Mahesh Yogi's transcendental meditation, levitation, I've actually physically seen.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
have lifted themselves.
yeah. There are many.
Samadhi.
Yeah, yeah. It is. So it is all possible. There are so many possibilities. And this is what Patanjali will refer in when we read the third chapter, which is called Vibhuti Pada. It will tell us through yoga what all siddhis, what all power that one can have. There are, of course, it is the top-notch yogis who have attained that power. They can walk through the solid wall, or they can transfer themselves from one spot to physically to other spot. There are many such examples. Even there are Tibetan monks where they used to go from one their the place in the mountain, and to go to the other place they had to walk through the hills and mountains, which would take few days, but he is seen instantly at the other place. How is that possible? So there are siddhis, but Patanjali will tell that these siddhis should not be your objective, because that's again limitation. It again pampers your ego. It can. So the objective is the last, Kaivalya Pada, complete freedom, complete liberation. And that's why he made this 4 chapters of Samadhi, Sadhana, Vibhuti, and Kaivalya. So is this all right that we do every Thursday pranayama and reading of Patanjali, at least 1 or 2 pages, and Saturday we do not disturb, we continue with what we are doing. Is that fair?
Perfect, Acharya. I think it's amazing.
Okay, fair enough. Let's do the prayer.
Chi.
Om. Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, God, for giving us air to breathe. Thank you, God, for giving us water to drink. Thank you, God, for giving us sun for energy. Thank you, God, for giving us food to eat. Thank you, God, for giving us good health and happiness. Thank you, God, for giving us positivity. Thank you, God, for giving us all that we deserve. Thank you, God, for your love, your protection, your guidance, your blessings. Thank you, God, for the existence. Thank you for giving me a chance to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Acharya.
Thank you.
So much,
Thank you,
Acharya.
everybody.
Thank you, Acharya.
Thank you. Have a good day.